Good morning. It's 54 degrees and raining in Costa Mesa, California. And we're on chapter 20, and it'll have to be part one because these Enochian chapters are a little bit long. So we're going to take chapter 20, part one at the moment of course, My Life with the Spirits. Hope you're all well and cozy. And I'll clear my throat. I'll have some coffee. And here we go, chapter 20, Enochian Spirits, First Worshipper Friendly Visit. The lodge was growing steadily, and the new members were understandably anxious to meet and study magic. I scheduled a weekly class in our home and began organizing my thoughts concerning the fundamentals of magic. It was finally sinking in that there were some people in the world who actually knew less about the subject than I. The class was attended by some very bright people, and in short order I realized that in order to stay one jump ahead of them, I was going to have to study very hard and be resourceful. Now there's a footnote to this, and I'll read it. And remember, this book was written over 20 years ago. My role as class master was more as host and moderator. Several members of the class were already far more knowledgeable than I on astrology and other occult sciences. With nostalgic pride, I can tell you that alumni of this class have since become celebrated luminaries of our modern occult magical subculture, including the deliciously diabolical S. Jason Black. Now, S. Jason Black, this is not in the book. S. Jason Black was actually David P. Wilson, who was our class member. He went on to write under the pseudonym S. Jason Black. And there's a picture, such as it is, of me and S. Jason Black at a party. Come as your favorite heroes and villains party. I came as Mr. Crowley, and he came as the Green Hornet. So that's a little detour there. By the time we mastered the pentagram and hexagram rituals and had consecrated our elemental weapons, it was clear I was going to have to come up with something dramatic. I combed my gems from the equinox for something exotic and different and turned to Liber Chanokh, a brief abstract of the symbolic representation of the universe derived by Dr. John Dee through the scrying of Edward Kelly. It was full of magic squares, charts, diagrams, and a series of calls in a strange angelic language. If the class wanted exotic, this certainly looked like it. Now there's a footnote. Between 1582 and 1589, Dr. John Dee, 1527 to 1608, English magus and mathematician and astrologer to Queen Elizabeth I, together with clairvoyant Edward Kelly, 1555 to 1597, in an attempt to communicate with the angelic hosts of God, as did the patriarch Enoch, hence the term Enochian, involved themselves in an amazing series of magical workings. Their efforts yielded a wealth of magical information, including a detailed dissection of the phenomenal and spiritual worlds, and an angelic language used to evoke particular spirits and access the various levels of heaven. Dee kept copious notes many of which survive today. Much Enochian material was incorporated in the Golden Dawn's Adeptus minor program. Crowley's Liber Hanoch was a digest of this material. Okay. Okay. I announced that we would soon begin a 6-week Enochian magic workshop. 6 weeks. At the time, the material in Gems and Regardi's Golden Dawn was the only information I had on the Enochian system. I read through the text several times and came to the conclusion that I would understand the material better if I constructed the various pieces of Enochian equipment. These consist primarily of 4 elemental tablets, one each for fire, water, air, and earth, and one smaller tablet of union or spirit tablet. Now I'm going to talk a little briefly about the elemental tablets and one of the, hey. This is the very first one I made, and this is the one that I talk about. We'll do that first of all. I talk about this one in this chapter. Now, I think you can see the white crosses here. That breaks it into subangles. Big cross down the center, big cross right here. And you can see that they're color-coded in such a way as you can easily see on one side what tablet this is. It's green, so this is the Earth tablet. And when you look at it from this side, you can see, there we go. You can see that this is a blue, that's blue, red, green, and yellow. You can see how the subangles are fire, water, air, and earth that way. And from the top, you can see that that's green. And from the bottom, you can also see the subangles. So anyway, we're going to talk about this in this chapter. Sorry for the interruption. Each elemental tablet is composed of 156 truncated pyramids. Each pyramid or square is lettered on top, and each of the 4 sides is colored to represent an element, planet, or zodiac sign. Each pyramidal square is the home to an angel or spirit, whose characteristics are determined by the specific elemental mix, as indicated by the colors on its sides. The letter on top of the pyramid is the angel's name, or a letter in the name of a larger angel. For example, if a pyramid is lettered, let's say A, is colored yellow, air, on 2 sides, and blue, water, on the other 2 sides, it houses an elemental being named A, whose character and scope of intelligence is defined by and limited exclusively to the elemental natures of air and water. Using the classic elemental images of the cherubic beasts, the lion for fire and the eagle for water and the human or angel for air and the bull for earth, the angel A could symbolically be represented as a sphinx with a man's head and body for air and an eagle's wings and legs for water. Obviously, such an elemental spirit would have a very narrow range of duties in the universe. On the material plane, these duties might regulate the behavior of clouds or mists. In the human psyche, they may play a specific part in the dynamics of our emotional life. Then let's say that right next to Angel A lives Angel B, who is half earth, black or green, and half fire, red. Angel B would naturally have drastically different characteristics than Angel A. Using the cherubic images, it would have the head and body of a bull with the paws and legs of a lion, fire. Keeping this in mind, we see that each elemental tablet has, first of all, 156 angels with one-lettered names and very specific attributes and responsibilities in the universe. However, we do not stop here. Enochian elemental spirits are modular. They fit together just like the elements fit together in infinite combinations and ratios to create the phenomenal universe. Angel A can join with its neighbor Angel B to create Angel AB, whose characteristics are more complex than either A or B alone. Angel AB, in turn, can join with other squares to form bigger and even more intricate beings, etc. The more I learned about the Enochian system, the more thrilled I became at its divine perfection. The laws that dictate the ordering of the elements and the organization of the squares are examples of Hermetic logic at its most sublime. The class was enthralled. Most members set to work painting their own set of tablets. As complex as the process appears to be at first, the simple act of coloring the tablets make the method to the madness easy to understand. In the meantime, I was determined to build a full set of three-dimensional Enochian tablets, like that one. Up until this time, Enochian magicians simply drew the pyramids on a flat surface. I mentioned my plan to Dr. Regarde, who counseled strongly against it. Quote, "They're dangerous enough when they're flat," he cautioned. "Don't give them dimensional elbow room." Now, as much as I respected the good doctor, I really didn't see how it could hurt to fully manifest the tablets in 3D. In fact, I thought maybe the reason Regarde's Enochian spirits were so crabby was because he had them all squished up in those flat tablets. I commissioned Kurt, who owned a table saw, to cut 644 wooden truncated pyramids with 1-inch bases. I bought sandpaper, sealant, and acrylic paints. As soon as the pyramids were cut, I went to work like a man possessed. I got up early in the morning to sand, seal, and paint. I became totally engrossed in the project. Time lost all meaning to me. Each morning I found myself arriving at my job later than the morning before. The tablets were all I could think about. Each day I stole away from work a little earlier so I could get home and sand and seal and paint. Soon I was sanding and sealing and painting all day long because I no longer had a job to distract me. I didn't care. The tablets were indescribably beautiful. I was so proud. I finished the small tablet of union first, then the elemental tablet of earth. That one. I couldn't wait until the other tablets were finished. I was determined we would try out the earth tablet at the next class. And that's where we'll end today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll be with me tomorrow as we continue this Enochian adventure. And until then, be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Bye.